After 12 days away from home and now 6 games having been played on the road, the Oneonta Outlaws finally back here at historic Damaski Field tonight as they host division rival Utica. Welcome in Outlaws pregame here on YouTube. My name's Colby Smith. This Oneonta team now sitting at 1-6 following a very forgettable loss down in Saugerties on Saturday night. Zach Porter had the only run batted in for Oneonta as Saugerties took an early 1-0 lead in the bottom of the second off Logan Schul, who threw a solid 2 innings of work. And now let's take a look here at Porter's RBI. Is up from first as he's on the edge of the grass. 2-0. And Porter hammered out into left field, diving to the ground, lost the hat 4. Tagging from third comes Connolly. Outlaws tie this thing up as it's a sac fly from Zach Porter. So it was Brendan Connolly who scored that run for the Oneonta Outlaws. He took player of the game Saturday night, his first time winning it this season as the Outlaws. 7 games, 7 different players taking the nod this summer. It's been a full team effort to get through 9 innings, or in the rare case of the Mercy run, a little bit shorter. But Connolly, regardless, 3 for 3 the other night, 3 runs batted in, or 3 runs. 3 runs isn't right, because we only had 1 run, so I apologize about that mistake on here. But 2 stolen bases as well. Connolly was all over the base paths, had a couple of stolen bases, and man, that was certainly awesome to see BC slide up there, and that was something that we talked about with head coach Keaton Mark in our pregame interview today. Talked about how just seeing him finally get that bat going again is going to be a huge spark for this team, and he'll be back at the top of the lineup for the Outlaws tonight. But before we roll to Keaton Mark, we got to hear from our player of the day, Mr. Colin Carver, reliever, who got some work on the hill down in Saugerties, and he spoke to that, so let's get to it.
Colby Smith, and I'm super duper excited to be joined today by Outlaws pitcher Colin Carver. Colin, another rough one for this team Saturday down in Saugerties. What'd you see watching that one unfold?
I think overall we're playing good baseball. A few minor issues here and there, but I think we're still learning to play together as a team. And I think a couple more games we'll have it figured out, and we'll be winning a lot more.
Well, and how do you go about as a team trying to get that chemistry and start to play together in summer ball?
So obviously it's different. You know, we all come from different places, so play different ways. But I think just we all hang out after games and before games and all that stuff, so it really builds team chemistry. I mean, since the first day I was here, it's been awesome. Like, team chemistry has improved a whole lot, so it's been great.
And what kind of things have you specifically done with this group to try to build that team chemistry?
Yeah, so we just had a team golf outing. That was a whole lot of fun. That's just one example. A lot of fishing around here, so me and the team will go fishing a lot, or just hanging out at one of the houses or apartments.
Well, and tell me about that golf outing yesterday. How'd you do? How'd your team do?
Golf outing wasn't bad. I was with Thomas Woodbridge. A whole lot of fun. Just playing for fun out there. We weren't too great, but not too bad either. 6 over. But some of the guys really shocked me. They're pretty impressive.
Well, and you mentioned fishing. What are some of the go-to fishing spots around here, and how much do you enjoy that?
Honestly, any lake around here is perfect. Besides the one behind the field, can't go to that one. So, but yeah, it's a whole lot of fun down there. I mean, the scenery is really awesome out here. A lot of trees, the water's beautiful, and it's just like when it's a nice day out and you get to fish, there's nothing better.
And what's your favorite thing about being here in Oneonta and this area as a whole so far?
I think my favorite thing about being here is the boys on the team. Super awesome guys, great team chem, super funny, and it's a lot of fun being here.
And how would you describe the experience of being an Oneonta Outlaw to anybody who might be coming here in future years?
Yeah, I mean, just be prepared for a lot of fun. That's pretty much it. The coaches are great. It's a lot of leeway, I'd say. You can do whatever you want. Well, not whatever, but you know what I mean? Like, whatever is fun for you. It's just a great time being here.
You mentioned Keaton and Joe and playing for them. What's it like having them as your coaches?
Yeah, no, it's great. The relaxed nature that they have and the leeway, but also if things are getting a little tight, when we're playing, they'll step up and say some stuff, which is awesome. I think they're very supportive and just great coaches in general.
You mentioned the team chemistry of this group as a whole, but specifically from the pitching standpoint, you all spend a lot of time together in the bullpen, working on things. What's kind of the mindset been like, and what's it been like seeing some new arms?
Yeah, no, it's always good. I mean, we have a lot of guys out there in the pen giving tips and tricks on how to just perform better in game. And we'll also play a lot of hacky sack, which has become a big thing. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, and is there any specific thing that you've picked up from any pitcher here so far this summer?
Not any really specific thing. Just working on certain things. I mean, everyone has different things to work on, so it's all pretty different. But any advice given to anybody, I mean, it's good to just kind of listen to it.
Well, and for you specifically, what kind of goals and things did you come here to Oneonta hoping to work on?
Yeah, goals. Just get my rhythm back. Pitch a lot more, definitely, and just win. I would love to win.
And when you talk about getting that rhythm back, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, just getting my rhythm back on the mound, feeling smooth, just getting outs, just performing at my best, pretty much.
Have you ever had the experience of anything similar to what you've been experiencing here so far?
Yeah. Last summer I played in Shelter Island in the Hamptons, and the team there was also really fun, really great guys. So I think the team chemistry goes both ways on each team.
Well, and how much do you think summer ball has really helped you both as a player and a person?
I think it's very relaxing. It helped me be a better person, helped me relax on the mound, because obviously it can be very stressful being the only one out there sometimes. But I found like being here, a lot of relaxation on the mound because I know the guys behind me got my back.
Well, and I know you mentioned that you just recently entered the transfer portal after 2 years at Marist. Tell me about that decision, what your experience at Marist was like, and what you're looking forward to moving forward.
Yeah, so my experience at Marist was a lot of fun, a lot of great guys. Love all my teammates at Marist. I just figured it would be my best move and best for me, so I had to make that decision, unfortunately, which sucks because I do love the guys back there. But yeah, just really looking for opportunities. That's pretty much all.
Well, and if you had to sell yourself to any program out there that might take a look at you, what would you say?
Hard throwing righty, not your typical stock righty arm. Pretty funky.
Well, and Colin, now let's talk about it. You guys come back home here after being on the road for quite some time. How excited are you all to be back here playing at the Mass?
Oh, we are very excited. We are excited. No long bus drive, no getting up early. So we're just out here having fun, and can't wait to see the fans. Can't wait to see everybody that comes out and show support.
Well, and how tough is that to have all those long bus rides, especially strung together so close like you've had?
I mean, it's tough. It's definitely tough on everybody and all the players and coaches and pretty much just everybody in general. I mean, the long bus rides aren't easy, but I think just getting to play around the area and just all that stuff is a whole lot of fun. I think we all just really enjoy it.
What specifically has to turn around for this team to start getting back in the win column?
I just think we all need to just be a little bit better at the end of the day. Just guys on base, getting them in. Pitchers just throwing strikes. I think everyone's done a pretty good job. I just think like a couple things will get us in the win column.
And got to ask, Martin Thorsland getting another start for you all tonight.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in his first couple outings?
He's been very dominant. Great guy, hilarious guy. Very dominant on the mound, and I just can't wait to watch him tonight.
Colin, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
Well, you heard it there. Mr. Colin Carver, a hard-throwing righty with a lot of personality for this team. Got to give him a huge shout-out for stopping by the broadcast. It was certainly awesome to hear what he had to say about the state of affairs for this team and also talk about himself a little bit. Each player comes to summer baseball, and I can't emphasize this enough, with goals of their own for things they want to accomplish, things they want to work on, and most importantly for Carver right now is to find himself a new spot for next year. But he's working on the velo, he's working on those little adjustments, working on the timing, and if you didn't get to catch all of that, all of our Outlaw player and coach interviews are available on our Outlaw social media as well as on YouTube after the fact. Beyond games, so make sure to check that out because we've had some good ones. I mean, Jack Clark Saturday against the Saugerty Stallions, that was a really good one. Had Nathan Bowes on already. We've had Pat Dangler. We've had Mr. Woodridge, like all of these guys just always have such great things to say and can't thank them enough for their time. But as we get ready for first pitch here against the Utica Blue Sox, Outlaw starting lineup introductions going on. We will go to our coach interview of the day with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark. Here it is.
Colby Smith again with Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark. Coach, that game in Saugerties on Saturday. Tell me what you saw.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not our best performance. They pitched it, fielded it, and hit it a lot better than us. It's just one of those days. Wasn't our day for sure. Looking to get back at it today.
Well, and specifically, tell me about any positives that you saw in that one.
Some big positives were definitely Brendan Connolly figuring out with the bat, 3 hits there. That was great. And then Burciaga looked fantastic in that last inning before we were done. So, I mean, 1 hit and they locked in 3 strikeouts in a row. It was good to see.
Well, and speaking of Brendan Connolly, how awesome was it to move him back up there to the top of the lineup and just deliver like that?
It was great, yeah. It was good to see the bat get going. We're going to hit him there again tonight and see if we can repeat the process.
Well, and you mentioned Alex Burciaga as well. His first appearance that counts for the stats this summer. I mean, just what do you think really worked for him in that inning?
Strikes, definitely. I mean, getting ahead, that's something we struggle with here and there. He did a great job doing that. And then the breaking ball was, I mean, he was locating wherever he wanted to. His fastball was good, arm side run. He was switching it up here and there and mixing pitches, and just everything was working for him. It was great.
Well, and in terms of the rest of the pitching staff down there in Saugerties over the course of those 2 games, what specifically kind of stood out to you that you need to clean up and improve moving forward?
Definitely just getting ahead of guys, overall strike percentage, and then holding runners for sure. Burciaga did a great job of doing that in that late game there. But, yeah, just holding runners for sure.
Well, and in terms of what your plan is in managing the pitching staff moving forward this week, is there anything specific that you're looking for?
Yeah, like I just said, I mean, we're trying to preach holding runners, giving our catchers a chance. Our catchers have great arms, so we got to give them a chance. We can't just have bags taken on us on the pitching side. Getting ahead of batters, and then we got a pretty set rotation-ish now. Obviously, people get spot starts here and there, but we got Thor going tonight. And then tomorrow, Logan Scholl will be back at it, and then we'll keep it going from there.
Coach, one last question here before I let you get back to it. Utica, a team you already saw about a week and a half ago here. They're red hot right now. 2 walk-off victories. What are you expecting from this one tonight?
Yeah, I expect a good game. I think we can go out and compete for sure with them. Obviously, we got the win against them the first time, but we're looking to do that again, obviously. Obviously, they can't walk us off here, so that's a plus. So hopefully we can put an end to that. So, I don't know. We just got to go out and get it tonight. That's all.
Coach, thank you so much for your time. Good luck tonight.
Thanks, Colby.
Well, there you have it. As always, a big thank you to Outlaws head coach Keaton Mark for taking the time to stop by. And certainly, I mean, this team has a lot of things they're hoping to improve on and just hoping to build on moving forward. Just about everybody's emphasized time and time again how this team really hasn't had the opportunity to get into a rhythm yet, and we're hoping that'll change with the week that's coming up. I mean, we're here tonight. We're here again tomorrow hosting the Glens Falls Dragons. That will be another free admission night because we want to take a moment here as we start to wrap out our pregame show to thank Otsego for sponsoring tee-off time here tonight as we're hosting these Utica Blue Sox. So a big thank you for buying out the ballpark and allowing free admission for one and all. And we have a huge crowd down below us here at Damaski Field on this Monday night. So Arc Otsego certainly doing a job, and we can't thank them enough. But tomorrow night, a free night as well, sponsored by the Oneonta PTO. It will be a makeup of our family fun night. So that will be a great time. It was supposed to be on June 6th. In that originally scheduled game against Glens Falls, but both teams opting to give up the off day tomorrow, add that game to the schedule, so we're certainly lucky to be able to make it up. 7 p.m. is your first pitch time tomorrow. Then you get the regular scheduled off day on Wednesday. Thursday on Juneteenth, we're going to Glens Falls to battle the Dragons for the second time this week, pending, of course, we get the game in tomorrow because we never want to jinx it, but I mean, there is rain in the forecast most of the day tomorrow, so we'll keep an eye on it, monitor it, and we'll have updates on our social media as we always do. Friday will be another free night. That'll be bought out by NBT Bank. That night was originally supposed to be June 7th, so luckily NBT is shoving their night back a couple of weeks. And now as we host the Saugerties Stallions, Peter Oberacker will be here with the first pitch. We got a local chorus singing the national anthem, and that'll just be a great night of baseball. Saturday, Amsterdam Mohawks are going to be here. That's a 7 o'clock game. That's Hawaiian night, and that will be a melon crop pharmaceutical night for the second consecutive year. So a huge thank you to all of our sponsors who buy out the ballpark and give us the opportunity to allow some free admission crowds here at Damaski Field. But now, as we conclude our pregame show, let's take a look at tonight's Outlaw starting pitcher, Mr. Martin Thorsland, a native of Maryland, New York. He's making his third start of the summer. He's already thrown 6 innings, and we will talk about his full stat line as we move throughout this first inning. But Matt Coelho's in the box. Here we go, first pitch. And that will be low and away for ball 1. Coelho's been red hot at the top of this lineup, has really taken over that spot for the Blue Sox and run with it as Thorsland gets and deals. And that one, Tapper, third baseline, off Conor's glove, rolls into foul territory. And that will allow the Blue Sox to have a leadoff base runner, as that should be an E5. Conor certainly should have had that one and can't make any excuses for it. I mean, certainly have had some rain, some sprinkles, wet ball field out there, probably some wet baseballs, but definitely, and I know Hugo too, he would have wanted that ball back if he gets a second go at it, and he makes that play 9 times out of 10 because he's a remarkable fielder at third, but doesn't take away the fact that the Utica Blue Sox have a leadoff base runner. Coelho, the DH on, and he wants to run. First pitch, Cullinane on the ground, past Matt Carrera in the left. Big turnaround second. Coelho's going to stop there, and the Blue Sox back-to-back base runners to start this one. So Utica's wasting no time. Matt Coelho, a massive jump. And that was something that Keaton Mark talked about in our coach's interview as well. Pitcher's got to be quicker and getting the balls off and not allowing base runners to get massive jumps. Because catchers behind the plate have been really good for the Outlaws when they've had the opportunity to gun it around the base pass. And it is Ian Warts, the Lehigh University product, back there tonight, catching Martin Thorsland, Xavier Smith, the extra hitter, now in the box. Utica's batting 10 here on the road. As this one going to sail head high, and that's ball 1. Smith standing at 5'10", 200. Joined this team few days late starting the summer, missed the first couple of games. His debut of the summer was actually here against the Outlaws in their first trip here on June 4th, which was the Outlaws' first game that counted for the standings this summer at home. Quickly the count moving to 2-0 on Xavier Smith. In that last trip here for the Blue Sox, he went 1 for 2 with a couple of runs scored, an RBI, and a pair of walks. Blue Sox only mustered up 4 runs that night, falling to the Outlaws 11-4. In the first of 9 between these squads this summer. 2-0, swung right through as Thorsland went back to his best pitch in his 4-seam fastball to get that swing. Smith's coming off a multi-hit game against the Amsterdam Mohawks on Saturday. This team is red hot as they've walked off 2 of the best teams in the PGCBL in their last 2 games. 2-1, shot straight on back foul. And after trailing 2-0 in the count, Thorsland's worked it back to an even 2-2. They walked off the Amsterdam Mohawks in 9 innings on Saturday by a 7-6 final. They had trailed, it was 6-5 it would be, as I'm having to do quick math and it's not working for me. Going into the bottom of the 9th, then a 2-run bomb would do the job. Utica, RJ Tomey staying in the lineup tonight after his shot over the left field fence at the newly turfed Donovan Stadium at Murnane Field up there in Utica. Coach Doug Dillette has kind of run with the mindset, you stay hot, you stay in the lineup, as this Blue Sox team has abundance of bench options here early on in the summer. Count's full with nobody away, top first. Runners at first and second, and this one on the ground towards third. Conors turns it to second and airmails the throw into right. Gets past Connolly. Coelho is being waved around. All the way to third goes Cullinane. Utica scores first, and they got runners at the corners with still nobody out. So that will be the second error of the inning on Hugo Cohnhorst. And just like that, the Outlaws already finding themselves in an early hole. So certainly not what you want to see, especially after the way the defense started the season, was a strong focal point for this team over the first 5-6 games. And now between Saturday and the start tonight, well, it's all of a sudden become a question mark. Sean Sosa is playing first base now in the box here facing Thorsland. Double play still will be in effect, would certainly trade 2 outs for a run right about now. As Sosa, big throw, and on the run, Xavier Smith's going to grab a bag as he got an early jump. So Just like that, it takes away the double play. First base will be the only bag open here in the top of the first. Second trip for Utica to Oneonta here in the month of June. They'll be back here twice in the month of July. Got 4 trips to Utica on tap as well as this one. Carrera ranging left, throw on the run, and that one gets away from Balick. Cruising and scoring, Cullinane and Xavier Smith both. And Utica, just like that, a 3-0 lead. So Suso reached. That'll be an E6, the third error here in this top of the first. And this defense for the Outlaws certainly has to clean things up. Connor Jones, the center fielder, going to come out next for Utica. But first we get an early mound visit from head coach Keaton Mark, and not a bad time to come out. I mean, just 1 hit so far in the inning for the Blue Sox, already 3 home, and so something certainly has to give and quick. Let's look around the horn for the Outlaws here before we get too far. I already mentioned Ian Wirtz is behind the plate for Martin Thorsland. First to third on the infield, Jameson Baylett. Second, Brendan Connolly. Shortstop is Matt Carrera. And at third, it's Hugo Conhorst. Left to right in the outfield, Jace Kohler, Kazuhara, Jack Clark. And now Martin Thorsland going to keep a close eye on Sousa. Utica already showing they're going to be aggressive, wanting to run, and so got to do everything you can to keep the base runners close. Baylett's positioned on the inside of the bag, close to home. Jones is a righty, showing bunt, and he shoots the first one high and back into the screen as the count drops 0-1. Jones, high school senior, going to George Washington next year. Got 4 George Washington products on this Utica Blue Sox roster this summer. 2 of them back-to-back in the lineup, and Sousa, who stands at first, and Connor Jones, who's in the box. 0-1. Checks his swing, and he didn't go, so the count will draw even 1-1. Utica's first trip here early in the month, he was 0 for 4 with a strikeout. Hitting a 5 spot in the lineup, as it's kind of been his go-to. He's only had 1 game where he's hit lower than 5. 1-1. Nice bat pit there by Wirtz. Count goes 2-1. He was also 0 for 4 in that win, 7-6 against Amsterdam Saturday night. Again, it was R.J. Tomey who had the game-winning 2-run shot for the Utica Blue Sox, as that one sails high to the letters, and the count rolling 3-1. Thorsland's got to get something back in the zone here, hopefully find something on the ground. Thorsland isn't working on any kind of pitch count or innings limit tonight, as here's his 3-1. Bounding ball left side, Carrera looks across the diamond after checking the runner, and that one bounced in front of Balick. And that will be an infield single here for Connor Jones. But, man, if Carrera had gotten to that ball, maybe it hadn't taken another bounce. Could have had that turn to second and gotten the lead runner. But instead, you see runners at first and second. Still nobody out, already down 3-0. So it'll be Ryan Eulis, right fielder, junior from Lafayette, hitting next here for the Blue Sox. Thorsland takes a look at both base runners. That one going to miss down and away. And the count quickly to 1-0. Eulis 0 for 3 with a run scored, a walk and a strikeout against the Mohawks on Saturday. Played in 4 of the last 5 for the Blue Sox after joining the squad late. Is the 1-0. Going to clip the zone just barely, and the count draws even to 1-1. Eulis from Columbus, New Jersey, stands at 6'0", 210. Blue Sox, it's rare you see it in the PGCBL for the most part, but running a lineup of all 10 righties tonight. Don't exactly have an abundance of lefties, only 4 on their bench. As that one, backdoor strike. And now Thorsland head on a hitter with 2 strikes for just the second time tonight. Blue Sox coming in 3-5, 6 game away from home already, as their new turf wasn't ready starting the season, so they had to play quite a few on the road, as he's going to get a swinging strikeout. Goes to a slider on the lower outside of the plate, and finally we get an out on the board here in the top of the first. It'll be David Brakel, third baseman from St. Michael's, hitting nets for Utica. Brakel 1 for 4 against Socrates on Friday, had the off night Saturday against Amsterdam. His hit was a single. Four of his last 5 hits, have been singles, as that one's a strike. Blue Sox, despite only having 3 wins on the board, do have third most extra base hits in this entire East Division right now. Utica team average at .223, averaging 6 runs a game is the check swing, and he did go. So Brakel's down 0-2. And Thorsland going to certainly need something big here, trying to get out of this first inning and keep this game within striking distance. Thorsland will set up first base side of the rubber. Turns back behind him, 0-2. Called strike 3 as he's going to get back-to-back Ks. Goes off speed into the upper outside of the zone, and so quickly 2 retired in a row, and now it will be Mr. R.J. Tomey.
At the plate, number 12,
R.J. Tomey, 2 for 3 with a run, 3 RBIs, a walk, and a strikeout in that Mohawk win. And as I mentioned, the game-winning 2-run home run to give the Mohawks just their second defeat, as Amsterdam still sitting well atop the entire PGCBL at 10-2. And they're in the midst of a big showdown right now up at Shuttleworth Park against the Socrates Stallions. Socrates sitting 4th in the division right now, but certainly could slide up any given day now. Stallions, that is a loaded roster, and now that they're starting to get all their pieces into town, they're coming. 0-1. That one going to miss just low. Count even, ball and a strike. That game was a 6:45 start. And also have Finger Lakes in Newark. That was a non-league game, 6:35. I think there was one more game going on tonight as well. And we'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard later on. It's the 1-1 down in the dirt, and the count rolling to 2-1. Certainly been fun to keep an eye on the way everything's been going around the league this summer. Been a lot of upsets in the early going. I mean, just look at this Utica Blue Sox team. They've knocked off Socrates and Amsterdam in back-to-back games, and who would have thought that a week ago? Count to 2-1. Runners at first and second, 2 down here, top first. Thorsland deals. And that one just barely missing the zone yet again. Count 3-1. Seeing Mohawk Valley pick up a couple of big victories. I mean, Boonville's in second place in this division. Nobody would have thought that after way things have been going for the Lumberjacks the last couple of years, but their new coaching staff up there has been doing wonders. Here's the 3-1. Big swing and a miss. And now Thorsland needing just one more strike to get himself out of this top first. Been heavily battle-tested, and the defense certainly hasn't helped him out one bit. Got Sousa at second, Jones at first to pay off. Both are running as this one finding a hole on the left side just past Carrera's glove. Turning around third comes Sousa. Jones is going to pump the brakes there. It's an RBI for Tomei, and Utica's lead is 4-0. So Sousa able to score on the hit and run play, in from second. Jones advances 2 bats and gets to third. And the 9th Blue Sox to hit in this first inning will now come to the dish. Waldy Rodriguez, freshman out of NJIT. He hasn't played since the Blue Sox were last here on June 4th, so might be a little bit rusty. 0 for 3 with a walk, couple of strikeouts that night. Played in the first 3 for Utica and has not played since, as this one swung right through. Wirtz checking the base runner, and Ale nails the throw into left. Went past Conors, in to score comes Connor Jones, and the second goes R.J. Tomei. As this thing's unraveling quick, it's all of a sudden 5-0 Utica. So, home plate umpire saying that he was hit by Waldy Rodriguez on the bat swing. It does send Connor Jones back to third, and it's the second straight game we've seen some umpire interference go down as we had the same problem down in Saugerties. So Rodriguez will be down in the count, 0-1. Erase that run, but do still have base runners at the corners with 2 away. Now you know that they're going to be on the run here as R.J. Tomey's going, and this one shot straight back foul. So now Rodriguez is down fighting in the count, 0-2. And you got to think Thorsland will be going fastball as it's kind of been the go-to to get himself some strikes here. Thorsland, the 0-2. Calls strike 3 as after everything that happened in that inning, at least Thorsland, when you look on the positive side of the ball, picks up 3 Ks, but that will be 4 runs, 3 hits, 3 errors, and Utica leaves 2 on. Bottom of the first we go. Outlaws come to the plate, looking to get some runs. Bottom of the first inning, back here on Outlaws YouTube, Colby Smith, and I'm once again joined by Outlaws General Manager Tony DeLillo. Tony, how we doing?
Well, it was a good day until that top of the first inning there. We did some things we haven't done all year, so hopefully we come back here this top half and we get a couple back.
Well, and that would certainly be nice. As let's run through this Outlaws starting 10. Leading off from second base, Mr. Brennan Connolly, Jack Clark in right field at second, Chase Kohler going to be in left, Zach Porter is the designated hitter, Hugo Conors going to be at third, and he'll certainly be looking some redemption after his couple of errors in that top half of the inning. Jameson Balick going to be at first, Matt Carreras the shortstop, Thomas Woodridge, the Wofford product out of Fayetteville, is the EH, Ian Wirtz is behind the plate, and Kazuhara is in center with, of course, your starting pitcher, Mr. Martin Thorsland. And Tony, real solid 10 that Coach Keaton's running together on the offensive side.
I mean, when you look at it on paper, it looks great. So hopefully we can piece together some good at-bats here early on and get back in this game and get this crowd into it.
And we have a great crowd tonight, sponsored by Arcod Seago, buying out the ballpark as Luke Baker going to wind first pitch, and that will be a fastball called strike 1. And Tony, all these great Outlaw sponsors, they really make it possible to do what we do.
It makes it very easy for us to put together a great environment and an evening for baseball goers. You know, just to allow people to come in tonight. Tonight's admission is free, So it allows anybody to come in and experience outlaw baseball, and it's just a great opportunity for people to come in, watch good baseball, and grab a hot dog and a drink and cheer on your outlaw.
Well, Connolly, it seems like going to get drilled by that one. Thought that it bounced before it got to his foot, but we'll take what we can get.
Yes, we need base runners right now. We need base runners. We can't be like the Yankees and run ourselves out of a couple of big innings.
So now it'll be Jack Clark. The High Point product has been a hot bat for this squad as he takes a called strike one. And Tony, he was the man, put one out of Shuttleworth Park in the Outlaws trip up there Wednesday.
I mean, he hit it far and he hit it hard. And just the sound from the beginning was the home run sound. It was a nice little crack, and it went. It was a great piece of hitting by him.
Well, and he had himself a 1-for-4 game when the Utica Blue Sox were last here on June the 4th. Had a run, a couple of walks, and 2 stolen bags that night. And the night before, he had really put himself into the heart of Outlaw faithful as in that exhibition game. Yeah, it doesn't count for the standings, but in his first show here, 4 stolen bags.
Yeah, he looks the part at the plate, and he's really good on the bases. He has great at bats, and he's got just a natural ability out there on the field.
0-2 from Baker. And
even that take right there, that was a great take by him.
Veteran move for sure. And again, he is just a freshman coming out of High Point. He talked about in our pregame interview on Saturday how thrilled he is that High Point's such an up-and-coming program. And they certainly went deep this year and got so many veteran pieces going back next year. He's going to get rung up looking on one that looked a mile low.
That missed the plate completely, but that's why we're up here and not down there.
Certainly frustrating, and Clark jumping up and down in his heels, knowing that that pitch was low. Got to give the benefit of the doubt to our guys all night long.
Absolutely. And going back to your point about High Point being up and coming, I think it's just as a player in college and stuff, up and coming, it's easier to play. It makes it, you're more loose, and when there's no high expectations, you kind of makes noise, and that's what High Point did this year.
Connolly's on the run. Cullinane lost the mask, and that one almost skipped away, but a nice backup from Naylor, the high school senior. Keeping that one from going too far, so that will be a stolen bag. It's Connolly running into scoring position, and now it'll be a 1-0 count on Jace Kohler. Kohler leading this team in batting average to this point with a .462. Has knocked in 4, 5 walks, 3 Ks, and he's got 1 bag, which came down at Saugerties last week. 1-0. And there's a high one. Count rolling to 2-0.
It'd be nice if he got RBI 5 right here, kind of chip back at this 4-run deficit.
Well, and how do you think the wet conditions that we fared with the last couple hours have impacted this one at the start?
I can only imagine. That ball gets a little bit of wet on it, and it just slips out of your hand, and it takes a little different bounce on the grass too when it's wet. It's tough. Like any outdoor sport when it rains, the weather plays such a big part in the game, and it's what team adjusts better to it usually comes out on top. And hopefully, we find some revenge here the rest of the game, and we claw ourselves back into this game.
Chase Kohler down in a 2-run count, 1 away here, bottom first. Outlaws already trailing 4-0 to the Blue Sox. Game 2 of 9 in the season series. That one will bounce off the plate. It seems like Luke Baker's having a hard time locating his off speed.
Yeah. Yep. I would expect him to go back to some heat here. He's had some success with that here.
Well, and that was what was really working for him in his first outing of the year as well. Came last Wednesday against the Boonville Lumberjets. It was actually the first home game for Utica here in 2025, as we talked about once already. Their turf wasn't ready starting the season, so they had to move around some games. They got a lot of doubleheaders coming up as Connolly can luckily not getting caught in a pickle. That would have been quite the blunder.
Coach Mark is only shaking his head over there at the third base. He almost saw himself running out of an inning here. Not what he wanted here, trying to get back from 4-run deficit early.
Well, you got
that leg kick there. Holy crap!
There's a called strike.
I thought like the pitch before it got him out. I was outside. I thought.
Certainly be nice to see a take. That's one thing this team has done well. They've worked long at bats.
Our bats all year have been great. We haven't really played a complete game yet, I feel like.
Well, and hopefully when we get to those double headers that we got on the schedule, that'll be a nice thing for this team, only having to play 7. Jace Kohler takes the walk, so Nice stitch pitch at bat, resulting in a base runner. It's first and second was still one down, and Zach Porter's going to come up, Tony. And Zach Porter, he's been another bat who's been really hot here.
I mean, listen, nice little gapper here. Score 2 runs to get right back in this ball game.
And Porter would certainly be a guy who could do it. 8 for 20 on the season so far. Has 4 ribbies, couple of stolen bags, hit by pitches. Has a couple of walks and just 1 strikeout as well. And that strikeout was another questionable call because have been hosed on some umpiring stuff. Not that we want to talk about it too much, but
I will tell you, I think our base runners here are giving the pitcher a little problem here. You know, he's bounced a couple in here the last couple batters. I think our runner at second's giving him some problems out there. He's doing a lot of dancing.
well, and if he bounces one, you know both base runners would go as that one clipped the elbow. 3rd hit by pitch to the season, Zach Porter. And now certainly got to do something with this. The bases loaded situations have been a problem for this group.
Anything here, any ball in play. Find a hole. Let's clear the bases.
This on both sides, no matter what kind of spot the Outlaws end up putting up this half inning, has got to be one of the sloppier innings that both teams have played in quite some time.
I mean, we had 3 errors, and maybe he's walked 3 guys this inning.
Conor's first pitch swinging, fouls one off. He absolutely missiled that one over the screen on this first baseline.
Straighten it out down the line there. That clears the bases for us.
And Damascus Field is a massive ballpark. A lot of room out there. One of the deeper ballparks in the entire league. Is the 0-1. Conor is going to take it, so he's quickly trailing 0-2.
Now we got to revert back to our way of thought here. Let's work the count, get a pitch we like, and put it in play.
Can't afford to end with a situation like this. As here's the 0-2. And Conor is going to take strike 3. So that'll be the second out.
The umpire was confused himself.
Conor, the second looking K of this half inning. It seems like this strike zone has kind of been all over the place.
No comment. No comment, Colby.
We'll go to Jameson Bollock, first baseman. Still just 1 hit on the season for the Outlaws. Came up in Amsterdam. It was a double. And that one will be above his shoelaces for ball 1. And Tony, as a hitter, what do you got to do when you're struggling like this to get some kind of consistency and rhythm back?
Really, I think it's just getting that hit. You know, whether it's a bloop or blast, just getting your confidence back is a big part of that. I feel like. You know, it doesn't matter if it's a seeing eye single or a gapper. You know, just to get that confidence back. You know, especially with the bases loaded, a chance to get your team back in the game here. You know, 1 swing could change the season. You know, you could get a hit tonight, 2 tomorrow, and then before you know it, he's hitting 350 by the end of the season.
Well, and he was an All-American who hit right around 500 this spring for Hudson Valley. So would love to see some kind of form of that come back and alive here this summer. 1-2 pitch. That one, good back pit from Cullinane, who's behind the dish, and the count runs to 2-2. Certainly so much different, though, and I know you and I had a conversation about it on one of our broadcasts last summer, just about the wood bat and the difference that plays.
I mean, some of these guys, I'm assuming it's their first time, and it's a little bit different.
That one stays fair, scoop to the bat, Breakel, and that forces out Jace Kohler, so that ends the half inning. Outlaws will strand 3 on the base pass and register no hits here in the bottom half of the inning. Second inning coming straight up. Utica's got a 4-0 lead. Back here to Oneonta, top two. It'll be 10-1-2 for the Utica Blue Sox. Huge shout out, General Manager Tony DeLillo, for swinging by. Always nice to get his takes on the state of things. Jager Naylor taking a first pitch ball from Martin Thorsland, who's trying to lock back in here. 3 hits, only one of them a barrel in that top half of the first. 2 balls that didn't leave the infield, just kind of got misplayed, as there's the 1-0 drop for a called strike. And Naylor now sees himself in a 1-1 count. Naylor went 0 for 1. Got pulled in favor of Louis Swang in that Amsterdam game Saturday, as that one skips in front of the dish and the count runs to 2-1. Naylor stands 5'11", 195. High school senior is committed to going to Rutgers from Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania, and he absolutely tore the cover off the ball this spring as he hit 420 and shows signs of promise right there yet again, blasting the whole right side. And so he'll start off this half inning with a single. And now Matt Colella, who started off the ball game with a ball hit sharply to third. Hugo Conors misplayed off his glove, and he came around to score after everything that followed. This Blue Sox team, 48 runs scored entering the night, and most they've scored in the game all season, 12 that they put up against Boonville, and ended up losing that game as well by a 13-12 final. Blue Sox have played a lot of close games early on, just as the Outlaws have, and luckily, at least in their last 2, they find themselves on the winning end. Had lost 3 in a row to the Lumberjacks prior to that, as Boonville, 3 of their wins against Utica to this point of the 5. Slap tag at second, in time, as Ian Wirtz, an absolute cannon. 2-4, it'll be the caught stealing, so Naylor sent down as he didn't get a good jump. Coella, count runs to 1-1, and now 1 away on the board, and the base runner erased. Thorsland once again fires, and that one back in the zone for a called strike 2. A year ago, Utica won 3 of 5 against the Outlaws. Home team won 4 of 5 in the season series. Is the 1-2. Going to be a bit high. Rolls to 2-2. Outlaws beating Utica in their only trip here last summer by a 9-3 final. Is the 2-2. Bounced in front of the plate. Count runs to 3-2. After that one here in Oneonta last summer, next 4 in a row were played up at Murnane Field. Outlaws, their only win came as the back half of a doubleheader middle part of June last year. Colin Condon threw a gem as that one caught on a liner. Jameson Bollett sticking a glove up there, flashing the leather. 2 away, and now it'll be Duncan Cullinane for the second time tonight. Cullinane singled, came around to score in the first inning as part of that Blue Sox 4 spot. It was nice for him to snap a streak of 6 hitless at-bats as the first offering. Going to break in there just a bit high for ball 1. Thorsland continuing to try to work on pumping that off speed back in the zone. Outlaws bullpen down in left field, still quiet to this point as the 1 out. In there, called strike, evens it 1-1. Do have quite a few arms available. Off day yesterday only helped with getting guys some much needed breathing and much needed time to recover. As Cullinane now in a 1-2 count. And Coach Keaton March said it in our pregame interview today, but going back to Logan Schul on the bump tomorrow against Glens Falls, he threw 2 solid innings Thursday at Saugerties. Staroba threw solid 3 starting the game Sunday. Here's the 1-2. Swung right through. Cullinane retired for Martin Thorsland's 4th strikeout here of the game thus far. After the leadoff single getting erased, Thorsland ends it. 1-2-3 facing the minimum in the second. Bottom half coming up. Outlaws still trailing by a 4-zip score. Bottom half of inning 2, back here to historic Tomaski Field. For Oneonta, it'll be 7, 8, 9 in the order to hit as Matt Carrera going to try to start things off. Outlaws left bases loaded in the bottom of the first inning. Had a hit by pitch of Brendan Connolly. He nabbed second. Walked by Chase Kohler. Porter was hit by a pitch. Had Bollick get on base, courtesy of a fielder's choice. And again, all three left on as Kohler being forced out over at third to end the half inning. And now this offense hoping to get something sparked and quickly. Luke Baker only gave up 1 run. It was charges earned against the Lumberjacks last Wednesday as Carrera, towering ball out in the right, curves to the left side of the Utica pen and the count to 1-1. His final line in that outing against the Lumberjacks, 3 innings through 67 pitches, just 38 were strikes as he did struggle a bit with his command. 1 hit, 1 run, it was earned. 1 hit, walked 3, struck out 4 is another mile-high ball right side. Foul territory caught by Sousa. And that will be a mile-high P3 if you're scoring along at home. And we'll go to Thomas Woodridge, the extra hitter. Woodridge in 3 games, he's hitting just .083. 1 for 12, has a walk and a couple of strikeouts. Utica is Braco pinched up on the edge of the grass as Baker going to wind and fire. And that just barely missing high, ball 1. Outlaws still looking for their first hit. As the 1-0. And Woodridge going to take a called strike, and the count goes to 1-1. Behind Woodridge here at the bottom of the lineup, it'll be Ian Wirtz and then Kazuhara before going back to the top. Baker's 1-1. And that skips, rolls away from Duncan Cullinane behind the plate as the count runs to 2-1. And I'm now joined by a special guest up here on the broadcast, Outlaws Sacred Heart Product, Nathan Bowes. Nathan, how we doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, I'm as good as it can get in a night like this and a game like this so far.
Yep.
But a 2-2 count here on Thomas Woodridge. And Nate, I know you hurt yourself down there Saturday night in Saugerties. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I just pulled up on the hamstring a little bit. Feel like I might have just tweaked it a little bit. I don't know, maybe some PT, some stretching. I'm just taking a few days off here. I don't want to risk anything, rush anything back, obviously, for school ball, but just taking it slow, you know what I mean? Make sure I'm healed up before I come back. And got to try to stay healthy for as long as possible. The biggest thing out here.
So Thomas Woodridge will be retired, 3 unassisted. Put that one in the books. Ian Wirtz will now bat, trying to keep this half inning alive. And for you, when you've dealt with injuries before, how tough are they to battle back from?
I mean, to be honest with you, I've been pretty lucky myself. I haven't had too many injuries that I've really had to deal with. It's been a while since I've had one. And, I mean, biggest thing about it is it just sucks not being able to be out on the field with all the guys and playing. But obviously it's awesome to still be here and support all the guys. Nice crowd, good night to play. So do everything I can while I can't play to help.
That one will fall over the head of Ulysses in right field, rolls to the wall, cruising to second goes Ian Wirtz. He's got a double, and the Outlaws in business with 2 outs.
There we go.
Well, when you speak to not being able to help this team, how thrilled have you been with your personal performance to start the summer?
I've been pretty happy. I feel like I'm comfortable in the box. Putting the ball in play is my biggest thing. I mean, obviously power is, I'm trying to get it here. Been in the gym a lot here, but with the speed, with my speed on base pass, I try to just put the ball in play and see what happens. You know, I feel like getting down the line fast creates guys to rush throws, pick their head up, make errors. And I mean, you can only score runs. You can only score runs with guys on getting guys on base. So that's been the biggest thing. I'm just trying to find a way somehow get myself on the base pass and cause some havoc. Guys behind me will put the ball in play to drive me in. So I mean, I've been pretty happy with how I feel like how I've played offensively and defensively this year. It's been a good start to the summer, and I'm excited to get back out on the field once I get this hamstring recovered up a little bit.
Count running quickly, 2-0 on Kazuhara. And speaking of getting guys on the base pass, how hard has it been to deal with the way things have been going with leaving 10 plus on base in 5 of the last 6 games?
Yeah, it's tough. It's just situational part of the game that we're lacking a little bit right now. But I mean, there's always time to change it around. Like, good thing is it's still early in the season. You know what I mean? There's no better time to be a little bit have a slow part of the year than right in the beginning, because you can always bounce back. I think it's just come down to guys in the plate discipline at the plate, including myself. There's been a couple times I left guys out there, and it's just little things. Guys on second and third, less than 2 outs. I just got to try to pull the ball to the right side for lefties or drive the ball backside for righties and score those runs. Like, they're big runs, and like you said, they pile up. I mean, I didn't even know that stat. That's pretty crazy, but it's probably the difference between a lot of these results in the games that we're playing. But I mean, it's been all right. It's a work in progress. I mean, everybody's still coming back too. Like, a lot of these guys didn't play that much in college, and as well as myself. Like, we'll work it out. I feel like guys on this team, I mean, we definitely have the ability to do it. So it just takes time.
Kazuhara gets on courtesy of the walk and is now first and second with 2 outs. As Connolly, a hard hit ball into left field over towards the line. It gets caught by Tomei on the jog. And that'll end the half innings in its tracks. Outlaws going to strand 2 on the base pass on just 1 hit. And we go to the third here in Oneonta. Your score, 4-0 Blue Sox. Top of the third, back here at Stuart Tomasky Field, and it is starting to rain a little bit. Martin Thorsland back to action as he deals in a first pitch strike to Xavier Smith. Outlaws will start to get somebody moving in the bullpen and left. Nobody's stretching as of yet, but there's some moving around going on. As here's the 0-1, and that one going to be a bit low as the count will even to 1-1. Got to hope that this rain doesn't get any harder, because I think that they're kind of hoping that it'll just kind of stay like this, a nice drizzle, as I can't speak, or a mist sort of thing, because, again, if it gets any harder, we might find ourselves in a delay. Count 1-2 on Smith. He reached on an E5, stole second, scored a run in the first. Blue Sox played at a 4 spot that ended up being the difference maker. 1-2 pitch, and that one down and away. Counts to 2-2. Xavier Smith from Lewistown, Pennsylvania, and another one of those examples that Nathan Bowes, big thank you to him for stopping up. Didn't really play a whole heck of a lot this spring, and now coming here to Utica this summer, really hoping that can find himself into a rhythm and start to get going. Count moving full. As Thorsley fires. That one shot right off Wirtz. Caught our home plate umpire as well. And so he'll run a new baseball right back out to Thorsley. Because as soon as the ball hits the grass, got to toss it out of play on a night like this. We said it, one thing tonight, big thing was going to be going through a lot of baseballs. And my count, we've definitely gone through quite a few already, and we are only in the third, excuse me. That one bounced off the plate, got away from Ian Wirtz. Did come around and swing on it, but on the drop third strike, Xavier Smith will reach.
Now batting number 17, Sean Sousa.
And now Sousa will come and swing the stick. Thorsley checking the base runner, and Smith now is Sousa going to fire. That one up and past the seats, third baseline. Went towards the Outlaw batting cages down in left field. And the batting cages here have been used for plenty of years and starting to get a little worn out, but they do the job and do the job well. We've taken BP in there a handful of times already this summer, and always our Outlaw batters in there getting some extra work in. Saw Dane Richards in there this afternoon. He was one of the guys who always seems to get here early, and you'll hear from him on the pregame show tomorrow before we face Glens Falls. But Richards looking for a new school next year, and he's trying to start to lock in here the rest of the way after some struggles early in the schedule. Is just as it seems, many of the guys in this lineup can save for themselves. Bose, it hurts to not have him in the lineup here, at least for the time being. A guy who hadn't been struggling all too much. I mean, he talked about leaving some runners on, a couple of strikeouts in critical times, but been one of the more consistent players for the Laws in the early going. Is Xavier Smith on the run, this one right side. Bollick checks the runner, takes to the bag unassisted. So at least they get one, but Smith does move up 90 feet. So Xavier Smith will go to second. There will be one away. And it'll be Connor Jones now to swing the bat here for the Blue Sox. Connor Jones singled and got stranded at third back in the first inning. As that one bounced in the dirt. And quickly Thorsland trails 1-0 in the count. You saw our out-of-town scoreboard once already, but just want to flash it despite our scoreboard being up there. Boonville and Mohawk Valley and Saugerties and Amsterdam both going on tonight as well. So 6 of the 7 Eastern Division teams in action today. Is the count going to 2-0. Glens Falls, the only team who's not playing today. They were supposed to have back-to-back off days, but again, giving up the off day to come down here to Oneonta tomorrow for family fun night and free admission sponsored by the Oneonta PTO. 2-0, and that just going to miss. Count runs 3-0. Jones 0 for 4 with a strikeout last time Utica was here. Now already has 1 hit against the Outlaws. Trying to get on base second time tonight and does. With the miss high, ball 4. Be first and second for Utica with just 1 away. Now Ryan Ulisse coming out. And it looks like we might start to get somebody up and throwing down in the Outlaw pen and left. This team really needs to find a way to battle back. Has to start doing those little things right. And it all begins from right out here on the hill. Martin Thorsland, he hasn't had a bad start by any means. But just some fluky things that have not happened for this group to this point has kind of been the difference maker. So Ulisse will come up after he struck out swinging. Thorsland keeping a close eye, both base runners first and second. And this one Missile out in the left field. Jace Kohler tracking it in the gap. Drifting left and comes down with the ball despite the carry on it. So a bit of a lag. Seemed like that one was glitching out in the air. Finally, Kohler brings it down. There's 2 retired, and it'll be David Brakel. Brakel struck out looking in the first inning as part of Thorsland's 3 strikeouts. Brakel's 7th spot in the lineup. R.J. Tomey, red hot bat, is waiting in the on-deck circle. Dangler's getting loose in the bullpen in left field for the Laws right now. He had to do some rehab on his back after having some issues with it, not feeling comfortable on the hill Saturday night in Saugerties. Only threw 2/3 of an inning, closing out the bottom of the 6th before, or bottom of the 5th it was, before Burciaga, who was the one who threw the 6 for Oneonta, and one that Keaton Mart praised for a good solid inning of work. Came in, got greeted with a single, but then battled back. Tired 3 Stallions in a row, saw Notre Dame, saw Georgia, and saw Villanova, and Burciaga got it done, so he should contend for another high-leverage outing here at some point. 1-1, big swing, and Brakel caught nothing as it was in the dirt, so it'll go 1-2, and now Thorsland needing just one more pitch to get himself out of this 3rd inning. One-two. That one, tap towards Thorsland. He charges off the mound, guns it to Bollock at first, and that ends the 1/2 inning. Blue Sox are going to strand a pair, and we will go to the bottom half of the 3rd. 4-0. Blue Sox is still your score. Welcome back to Oneonta. Jed Clark's going to start off the 1/2 inning for the Outlaws. It'll be 2-3-4 to bat against Luke Baker. Jed Clark struck out looking back in the 1st inning, a rare strikeout for him. It's the 3rd one he's taken, and he checks his swing on this one, and he did come around, and so he'll trail 0-1. Clark splitting time, center field, right field. Seen the EH-DH role so far as well. Just trying to keep his bat in the lineup as much as possible. as the 0-1 balanced opposite batter box. Count to 1-1. Outlaws 8 righties, 2 lefties in the lineup here tonight for head coach Keaton Mark. 4 of 5 at home this week. Massive week, as you saw on our week ahead graphic, and we'll flash that again later on. 1-1. Only road trip this week is to Glens Falls. That'll be a late night Thursday, but at least turn around and be home Friday, Saturday. But 2 tough opponents, with Saugerties being here Friday and then Amsterdam coming to Oneonta for the first time after 2 trips to Shuttleworth on Saturday. From the first base side of the rubber, Luke Baker's 2-1. And Clark turns on this one, puts it out towards right. Baker, his longest outing of the spring was 2 innings. For college this year at Spring Hill, through 2 against Lemoyne Owen on April 6th, as Clark going pulling for 1 down and away. And for the first time this summer, he's been struck out twice. And it'll be Jace Kohler to roll up next. Jace Kohler walked and then was forced out at third on the force out to end that top of the first, with Bollitt putting 1 in play up the line. Brakel's at third, Naylor's at short, Rodriguez at second, and Seuss's at first for this Blue Sox infield. As Baker fires a fastball right through the middle of the zone, and the count dropping 0-1. Left to right in the outfield, Tomei, Jones, and Ulyss for this Utica Blue Sox team. 0-1. And called strike going on Kohler, and so the count quickly to 0-2. 0-2. And that going to be just low. Count to 1-2 as Baker drops that one. It's a bit low. And so now the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kohler high in the air towards right, drifting over. Ulyss has it fall to his left side. And so we will try it again. Kohler having a plate dusted off in front of him, is kind of mudded over a little bit on the infield with this rain that's come. You can definitely see the change in the dirt color. Kind of gone from a light brown after all the work that owner Gary Lang and his son Chris Lang, who operates our beer and merchandise here at Damaski Field, is that one swung on and missed. So Kohler's down strike 2, did on it this weekend. Field certainly needed to work before we could get back to baseball, and luckily they were able to clean it up and get us ready here for a big week at home. But we're going to go to Zach Porter, designated hitter. And if you're still watching Lucas Grantham, I did see your comment here on YouTube. Didn't want to ignore you. Had to say hello. Grantham was an Outlaw who played here end of May and June last year, along with Tanner Harden and Colin Condon, given that Wofford full-on legacy. First year, we were lucky to get some products from Wofford back, and now we got a couple more Wofford guys this year. So kind of rejuvenating that partnership. And Grantham, Harden, and Condon single-handedly carried this team to some victories in June last year. And so it was huge when the Outlaws lost them. Only went on to win 2 games in July as the 1-1. And this one on the ground, scooped by Sousa, bumbles it a little bit, flips it. Baker just barely gets over there, beating out the speedy Zach Porter. So that's a 3-1. Porter gets down the line fast, but 4 Outlaws in a row have been retired, and we will go to the 4th here at historic Damaski Field. Your scores all Blue Sox, 4-0. Back here to Oneonta, we are hoping Martin Thorsland can keep it rolling. Ground ball towards second. Connolly bumbles it a little bit, losing it in the grass. Flips the throw. Got away from Bollock as Connolly was down. Just mishandled that one. Very uncharacteristic of him to be unable to handle that baseball. Another prime example of a ball that's in the dirt that just, I don't know, just can't be scooped up. Argo scored as an E4. So Brendan Connolly's going to have to try to shake that one off. Certainly something's got to start to give. 4 errors, most in the game for this Outlaw team this summer. And it'll be Waldy Rodriguez now to swing the stick. Thorsland's keeping a close eye on first. Short lead for R.J. Tomey after the ball in play. Coming into this half inning was going to be 8, 9, 10 for Utica. Rodriguez represents the 9 spot. Is the count to 0-1. Thorsland checking a runner there at first. His Bollock slapping the tag back on. This one bounced in the dirt, rolls away from Wirtz behind the plate. Damage is already done as Tomei got a break. And so he's going to get himself a bag running to second. And the count will go 1-1 here on Rodriguez. This one past Thorsland's legs, rolls into center field just out of the grab. Outstretched arms of Matt Carrera. Chugging in to score comes R.J. Tomey. Rodriguez has got another RBI.
Number 2, Jagger Naylor.
And the lead is now 5-0 in favor of Utica. So something's certainly got to turn around here. For the Utica Blue Sox, it is looking like Pat Dangler is ready to come into this ballgame whenever he gets the nod. On the run, immediately goes Rodriguez. Gun throw from Wirtz on the strike call, bounced away. Glove of Connolly, but Rodriguez does get a bag. He runs into scoring position. But a late tag coming from Connolly, who drifted back over as Rodriguez came off the bag, gets the out. Rodriguez looked like he said something after the fact, and he got a talking to from our field umpire. Got to watch what you say. Those guys, they don't have to be here. They want to be here. And so you got to treat them with all the respect in the world because they certainly have a very tough job to do. Counts 1-1 here on Jagger Naylor. As Thorsland deals. Blasted just up over the glove of Connolly into left center. Uhara has a hard time fielding it. He turns, spins it in quick. Another single for Utica as the damage just keeps falling. Keaton Mark was turning, looking at Josiah Aska. It's got to wonder how long the leash is going to be here, as you don't want Martin Thorsland to allow too many runs to his stats on the summer. It is top of the lineup as Matt Colella. Going to settle on in. It's his third AB of the game already. Reached on an E5 in the first, lined out to first in the second. As he takes strike one on this go-around. Coella, a couple of hard-hit balls, both that one towards Conors and the one to Balek were hard hit. As this one a strike call, Connolly slapping the tag on it. Second, ball came out of his glove. Looked like bumbled that one a little bit and trying to slap the Ted down. That's a stolen bag for Jager Naylor. And so he's in scoring position. And the count's at 1-1. Thorsland locking in as a taser towards right field. Bollock was drifting it over there, but runs out of room. And so the count's staying 0-2 here on Kalila. Really need to find some way to get some quick outs, get the offense back up here, hope to find something, get something started, because the opportunities have been lacking. Is Coella going to get frozen by an off-speeder from Thorsland? And there's 2 away, and we'll go to Duncan Cullinan. Cullinan, a single, scored a run in the first, struck out swinging in the second. Cullinan attends Colby College, strapped up his sophomore year there. And another pretty good spring as the count going to 1-1. Cullinan's had himself pretty solid start to the summer for the Blue Sox as well. They do have 4 catchers on the roster, though, so not only is Cullinan going to be behind the plate, he's also going to be getting some DH-EH duties. It's Wirtz losing the mask, flap tag. Connors didn't stretch over there in time. Jager Naylor swiped 2 bags after being caught stealing in the second. He's now 90 feet away with 2 outs and a 2-0 count on Duncan Cullinan. Final stat line this spring on Cullinan, Colby College, 257 average, had 18 hits, 78 Bs, 7 of those for extra bases, 5 doubles, 2 homers, as he finally takes a strike. Also had 9 walks, 15 Ks, was hit 3 times, scored 19 runs. Here's your college stats, obviously what you focus on the most. Your PGCBL stats are nice, but college is what you smile about and celebrate, because everybody's goal here and coming to summer ball is to go back to college ball bigger and better. So that's certainly where your focus goes. But carrying over the success to the summer is great too, as that one fouled off. And the count goes full with 2 away. Again, Jager Naylor's at third, 2 down. Thorsland trying to end this frame. This will already be his longest outing of the summer as the payoff. High ball 4. So Keaton Mark walking out, and he's looking down Dangler in left field, making sure he's ready to go. I think this is probably going to be Thorsland's last hitter. So hopefully he's able to get an out, get it done, so his stat line will read 4 innings. Utica has stranded 4 on the base pass against him to this point. And if he can find a way to get this done, it'll be 6 left on through the first 4. First offering, on the ground, Connors the 1-up, steps forward, throw is low, pulled Bollock off the bag. But somehow, I guess he gets the out regardless. Bollock backed up a little bit, must have caught it on the back. His footwork is phenomenal over there at first. So that's huge. Gets him out of the half inning. 1 more run does score for the Blue Sox on 2 hits, 1 error, and they strain 2 on. Bottom 4 we go here in Oneonta. Blue Sox, a 5-0 lead. Bottom of the fourth inning, Hugo Conors will lead things off for Oneonta. 5, 6, 7 will come on up as Jameson Bollock and Matt Carrera will follow the recent Westchester commit. Conors going to take one low, ball 1. And one thing that you really got to talk about with this Outlaw team, I mean, was mentioned recently committed, there are a lot of guys on this team that are in the transfer portal looking for new schools or just having wrapped up community college looking for a 4-year. As this one lasered out in the right field, taking a couple of steps, that gets caught by Ulysses. And so there will be one down for Bollock. Bollock reaching on a fielder's choice back in the first inning. Was a 2-2, was right towards third. Brakel scooped it up for Utica, went to the bag, forced down Jace Kohler. Outlaws left the bases loaded. They also left 2 on in the second as they've now left 5 on already. That one will drift up a bit high, and the count will go to 1-0. Bollock has one more year, Hudson Valley. As from the first base side of the rubber, Baker kicking and firing. Another one deep in the air towards right. Now shallow, caught by Ulysses yet again. And so 2 straight Outlaws to Ulysses in the right. Scoring both F9s, and now it's Matt Carrera. Carrera is one of those guys just talking about looking for a new home. And if I had to sell you Matty C in just a short phrase or what kind of player you'd be getting, Carrera, gritty player, a lot of heart, wants to lead whatever way he can on and off the field as he pumps one towards right. Ulysses, that would have been something if he had caught 3 straight flyouts out there, but dropped to the right of him. Still a chance for it with just 1 strike, though, as we'll keep going. But Carrera wears his heart on his sleeve, and he might not necessarily be the most vocal leader, but he's always willing to do those little things right, always helping out his teammates, and sees the game very well. Great baseball IQ, so certainly take a look if you're looking for a middle infielder. Is this one to right? Ulysses going to watch it, carry into the Blue Sox bullpen. So 0-2. Carrera did pop to first last time up as the 0-2. Bounces in the dirt, gets away. So Thomas Woodridge, extra hitter, I'm handling things at the moment. Be the longest outing he's thrown in more than a calendar year. Blue Sox do have somebody getting hot in their bullpen and right. Got Braco pinched over towards third. Got Rodriguez shifted way over left side of the infield. There's that one. Nice little freezer. Runs the count full with 2 outs. So you have to think both starters probably going to be done here after 4 innings tonight. Be real surprised if that's not the case. Payoff. Carrera watches it go low, and that's ball 4. He'll take the jog to first. So Matt Carrera is going to be on, and now it'll be Thomas Woodridge. Woodridge grounded out 3 unassisted back in the second inning. Everybody keeps saying that this offense is lethal. It's just a matter of unlocking it. And, well, if anybody's got the key for this Outlaw offense, hand it to me right now because it'd certainly be nice to have it. Woodridge quickly trailing in the count, 0-1. Outlaw sitting second to last in the league in batting average at this point, only in front of the Geneva Red Wings, who just won their first game yesterday. Woodridge, his left foot way up on the chalk line. Takes a quick glance down to first. Carrera's on the run. Gun throw from Cullinan. Slap tag on, not in time. So Carrera able to run himself into scoring position with 2 outs. Count goes 1-1 on Woodridge. Baker again takes a glance behind him. This 1-1. Carrero's dancing off the bag, and that one sprayed on up foul towards the Outlaw pen and left. So Baker needs himself just one more strike, get himself out of the inning. Woodridge slicing and dicing. As chopping ball, bumbled by Rodriguez. Naylor scoops it up. Carrero wanted to go home, but he pumps the bird to third. Would have been a sitting duck if he had gone home. That'll be an error, as it will be an E4, as Rodriguez just kind of kicked that one around. Couldn't pick it up clean. So 5 errors combined in this game tonight. And it will be Ian Wirtz to settle in now. After 2 straight flyouts to right, we're looking like we're going to get through this inning pretty quick, but 2 outlaw base runners in a row have changed that tune. Woodridge is now running. Gun throw, Cullinan. Carrera's on the run. Rodriguez to play at the plate. Carrera dives in. There's the first run of the night. Heads up base running. Double steals pulled off. Got to give the big kudos to Thomas Woodridge for getting that thing started. Could be a momentum shift as the dugout erupts when Carrera slides in. Wirtz is ahead in the count 1-0. And now Woodridge, another massive leadoff second. Baker steps off, slap tag second. Rodriguez puts it on. So Woodridge gets called. Thought maybe we'd have a balk there, but don't get the call to go the Outlaw way. Wirtz will be back at the plate in the bottom of the 5th. Outlaws do get on the board, though. And to the 5th inning we go. It's a 5-1 Utica score. So let's talk about it. The first Outlaw call of the bullpen here on this Monday night, and they go to Pat Dangler. Originally, he was expected to get a start here probably tomorrow, but he comes out of the bullpen tonight hoping to give some depth. As there's the first pitch straight. Sean Sousa, he's going to see a tough Blue Sox lineup. Not that the 2 lineups he's seen before tonight haven't been tough. So the Auburn Doubledays exhibition home opener went 4 innings as the starter. And then he also saw the Saugerties Stallions on Saturday. Final line gets the Stallions in that one. Talked about it earlier, which didn't expect to see Pat up in a ball game with mentioning that. It was kind of tried again. But as I was saying, Dangler Saturday, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, both were earned. So his ERA very inflated, 27 after that. But when you only throw 2/3 of an inning, how can you really judge anything off that? Because that Auburn game, much to the dismay of many of these Outlaws, does not count for their stats because many guys had a good night that night when they took down the Doubledays by a 7-4 final. It was a very convincing, resounding victory and certainly gave everybody some hope for what was to come this summer. But again, after that Utica game, going on the road, things kind of unraveled quick. Everybody got out of sync, and now it's just a matter of locking in, getting back to business. Zeus is going to get pumped with one, left knee. So that'll be a HBP, and it'll be Connor Jones to swing the stick next for Utica. Jones, a single in the first inning and then a walk in the third. He's been stranded on base both times as the Blue Sox have left sits on the base pass. Dangler, first base side of the rubber, fires, and that one will sail in high ball 1. Dangler's final line in the Auburn exhibition opener. 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and he struck out 1. Bollick almost lost that one out of his glove as it came a little loosey-goosey. This one caught off the end of the bat. And so Jones going to see himself in a 1-1 count. Short lead off first for Sousa is Dangler going to step and fire. That one will sail high. Russell Sage-Prawnet's going back to the Gators for 1 more year. Phys ed major this summer, work at the Delhack Golf Course when you're not finding him here on the diamond. He's really been locking in out there on the golf course. Yesterday carried his team to a real strong finish in the Outlaw Annual Golf Outing that you heard a little bit about from Colin Carver pregame as well. Carver played with Thomas Woodridge, who's the extra hitter tonight, and always interesting to see for an event like that how the teams stack out, the friendships that kind of get built, and who opts to go with who. Is Dangler going to pick up a backwards K? He freezes Connor Jones. And he walks back to the dugout, and it'll be Ryan Ulisse now to bat. But Dangler can't emphasize enough just how good he was yesterday on the golf course. His tee-off game was on the money. His game on the green was lights out, and he is just not only heck of a person, heck of a pitcher, but he's also really leveling up in the world in the golf game. So can't wait to get out there and get some more tips from him sooner or later. Ulisse is 0 for 2. On the run goes Sousa. There's the hit and run. Out into the left center gap. Kohler Uhara falls over Uhara's head. That'll roll to the depot banner in left center. Uhara back to grab it. Sousa rounds third all the way to third. Stand up triple, Ryan Ulisse. And the Blue Sox now a 6-1 lead. So that one just hang up a little bit higher than Bat Dangler would have liked. Lead right back to 5 for the visiting Blue Sox. And David Brakel, who's 0 for 2, now will bat. Brakel struck out looking in the first inning, also grounded out 1-3 as he takes one low and away, ball 1. He's a guy who's both a third baseman and an extra hitter for this team. As many guys, when they're not in the lineup, as Coach Judd DeLette trying to rotate players the best he can, get an EH or DH. Very rare to get an off night if you're playing some good ball. The Albany, New York native, now on a 2-1 count, standing at 6'1", 185. He actually transferred to St. Michael's after 2 years Mohawk Valley Community College, and he was very good there for the Hawks. Supposed to get an arm from Mohawk Valley this summer. It fell through a little bit towards the end. Outlaws still looking to add some more pitching depth here if we move forward into the middle part of the schedule. Ballage pinching in from first. Is this one straight back into the poles behind the plate. And the count goes full as Dangler's looking for another punchy. Conor is pinched up a little bit from third as well. I think they're expecting this one to go too far as Brakel's having a hard time putting barrel on ball, but this one he bombs. Out in shallow center, Casuar, Jack Clark, and it's Jack Clark who makes the grab. About another quarter of the way to home. Ian Wirtz swats this one down out of the air. Dangler racing for it to back up. And despite the scramble, Ryan Ulisse ultimately holding up. They get the second out. And now R.J. Tomey will get a chance to bat with runner 90 feet away. A chance to move the Utica lead to a half dozen. So Tomey, an RBI single in the first. Reached on an E4, stole a base in the fourth inning. And then also scored a run as this one, strike one. Dangler with that brand new mound hanging around left side of the rubber was just fixed up before the Outlaws' first home game. His mound was in tough shape and a couple of weeks preceding the home opener, which is almost 2 weeks ago, would have been 2 weeks ago Wednesday. Dangler's looking for a pitch to get out of this half inning, just leave the one up on the board. 0-2. This one up over the screen, this side of the ballpark. Going to get out that trail that runs through Newell Park. It's actually going to be part of our Outlaw 5K. This is coming up on Saturday, July 5th. It'll be a 5:30 race start. Start's going to be right outside the Outlaw Clubhouse. You'll finish right in front of the Damasky Field front gate as well. Anybody who runs gets free admission to the Outlaw game that night. And if you pre-register, you get a guaranteed limited edition 2025 Outlaw 5K shirt as well. So make sure you get your registrations in. Count to 2-2 on R.J. Tomey, and that's really going to be a fun time. It's been a few years since the Outlaws have had that 5K. That one misses outside, 3-2. Dangler once again fires, and that'll miss ball 4. So Tomey will get on courtesy of the walk, and it'll now be first and third with 2 away. Dangler once again fires. Waldy Rodriguez going to take one high, ball 1. On the run, this one sails high. Missing is Rodriguez. Going to take the ball. Tomey takes away the ground ball opportunity on the right side of the infield. So Tomey gets a bag to second. And some new baseball is being run out of the dugout by Zach Roeder, our home plate umpire. Ian Wirtz is out having a quick conversation with Pat Dangler. Both of them trying to get on the same page here. Blue Sox have already blasted 7 hits in this ball game. Outlaws still just 1 of their own. Dangler 2 out. And this one out towards right, foul territory. Curves past the pen. Two-one. And that just going to miss a bit high, ball 3. Getting the Outlaws right back at home tomorrow. It'll be a 7 o'clock start against the Glens Falls Dragons. Family fun night, free admission, sponsored by the Oneonta PTO. As it looked like that one caught Dangler's leg, rolling in a shallow center. Ulysse scores, Tomei right behind him. To first, Waldy Rodriguez. It's a pair of RBIs. And all of a sudden, the Blue Sox lead goes to 8-1. Keaton March walking out as it looks like we'll get another Outlaws call to the bullpen here in just a moment. So Dangler only gets 2 outs. We'll introduce you to the new Outlaw arm when we come back. Top of the 5th inning with 2 outs. Dangler only gets the 2 outs, surrenders 3 runs. He walks 1, gives up a couple of hard hit singles, a triple, a hit by a pitch, and certainly far from his best outing. I know Dangler's going to look back and want a couple of those ones that he lofted in there, gave up hits on back, but immediately Jordan Goebel comes into the game, gets greeted by a stolen bat by Waldy Rodriguez. There's a count 1-0 here on Jager Nailers in the 10 spot. Jordan Goebel making his first appearance of the summer on the home mound. He had an outing against the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs on the road Thursday the 5th. Didn't exactly go the way he wanted. 3 hits, 2 runs, both were earned. This one shot straight backwards, foul. And the count to 1-1. 3 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, facing 6. For Dan Payton came out of the bullpen, allowed 1 run and a couple of walks. Logan Marquez ultimately took the loss that night for the Outlaws. Heartbreaker in Little Falls, 8-7. That was a 10-inning game. Goebel keeping a close eye. Waldy Rodriguez, the 1-1. Straight backwards, the count to 1-2. Goebel still getting used to throwing submarine style out on the hill. Wasn't something that he did until going to SUNY Oswego Goebel spent 2 years, Herkimer, and then this spring, his first year, SUNY Oswego, posted a 2.25 ERA, 8 innings of work. Another one missing down and away. And he's very familiar with head coach Keaton Mart. Two of them spent a lot of time together growing up, was kind of one of his role models and heroes, played some Legion ball together, played some golf together, and Goebel certainly wanted to come and play for Coach Keaton again here in the summer. Turns around, 2-2, sails high, and the count 3-2 here on Jager Naylor all of a sudden in the 10 spot. Goebel with a count full and 2 away. Deals. Popped up right side. Ball is drifting over. Foul territory. Not going to get there. Looked like that should have been ball 4, but guess got a little confusion. All right, now they're showing 3-2. Okay. So full count. Goebel checking Rodriguez. And there's called strike 3. Goebel paints that lower outer edge. He only sees 1 and gets the out that he needs to get out of the jam. Blue Sox put 3 more onto the board, courtesy of 2 hits and no errors, and they leave 1 on. We're halfway home in this one. Utica has a 7-run lead. Bottom of the 5th inning back here in Oneonta. Ian Wirtz back at the plate. Had a 1-4 Thomas Woodridge being thrown out on the base pass. Ending the 4th inning. Just got a bad jump off a second, looking like he wanted to take the bag. And, well, ended up being caught in a pickle, and that was that. As Rodriguez slapped the tag down, inning ended. Ian Wirtz had seen 2 pitches, was a 2-0 count. Luke Baker going to walk off the mound here. Surprising to see him back out on the hill. I mean, kind of figured his night would be done after 4 innings. Wirtz hanging out again, first base side. Left foot's really pinched over up on the chalk line. 0-2. Skyrockets one on the infield. Drifting in a little bit. Sousa Rodriguez comes over, makes the snag. And there's the out. Sousa Rodriguez, and they even had Ulisse come in from right field. But it ended up being Rodriguez who gets the out. So Kazuhara going to be the next outlaw to bat here in the bottom of the 5th. Baker again winds. And that one will miss a little low, ball 1. Uehara walked and was left on base in the 2nd inning. Outlaws straining 5 to this point. Certainly got to get things going as the 1-0. Again, clipping the zone back door, count 1-1. Luke Baker. Really been good locating that 4-seamer. Has that one going to sail a bit low. Count to 2-1. So Rodriguez going to pinch over a little bit towards first. As the 2-1. Left side finds a hole between short and third. Naylor raced over, couldn't get there in time. Uehara breaks up the street. 2nd hit of the night for the Outlaws. And Oneonta, signs of life as they go back to the top of the lineup for Brendan Connolly. Brendan Connolly, we flashed it up here in the pregame, and we'll flash it again. I do have the mistake of showing the 3 runs because Outlaws didn't plate 3. Also flew out to left field in the 2nd inning, ending the half with Ian Wirtz. It's 2nd after the double, which was the only Outlaw hit before Kazuhara single you just saw. Tip it off from behind the plate pretty good. Uehara dancing lead off second. This one bombed on the left side of the infield, charging it. Naylor throws on the run. The good stretch at first, but Sousa gets the out. 6-3, Connolly. A ground ball out. Does advance Uehara 90 feet to third. So it'll be Jack Clark. Struck out twice tonight. Struck out looking in the first, struck out swinging in the third. Clark, very, very uncharacteristic night. He's trying to change real quick. Would love to see him get a hit, give this team some much-needed life. There's this one on the right side, couple of bounces. Rodriguez fields on a run. Throw to Sousa. Not in time. Run will count. As Jack Clark able to run it out. Wow. So Jack Clark going to leg out an infield single. Thought that, man, he was out for sure, but run counts. It's 8-2. And all of a sudden, like we said, needed some signs of life, and Clark diving back in there. So he's now 1 for 3 after that infield single. Certainly looks a lot better than a 0 for 2 with 2 punchies kind of night. That one sails head high to Kohler. Short lead for Clark. Once we get into the top of the 6th, we'll take a look at the scores from the 3 other PGCBL out-of-town games. Kohler gets plunked back of the jersey, top of the numbers. Baker's walking around out on the mound. And arms still in the Blue Sox pen getting hot. And it looks like we are going to get a mound visit right now. Don't know if the plug is going to be... So Zach Porter will now come to the plate here for the Outlaws. As I apologize, we were trying to fix. We were alerted that audio's cutting in and out here, so trying to get that all trinked up and make sure everything's good to go. Zach Porter was hit by a pitch in the first inning, and we also had a 3-1 ground out back earlier on. Baker from the first base side here. Clark and Kohler both on, trying to cause some havoc. Those two certainly can do it. As the count rolling 2-0, as Porter taking another high. Outlaw dugout certainly starting to get some life back with that last run. Bullpen's quiet for the moment, so see who ends up coming back out, whether it be Goebel or a reliever. 2-0. And that one going to drop low, ball 3. So if Porter can get on, the base pass will be full here for the Outlaws. And there's a called strike. So the count to 3-1. Quick check, look back to second. And Porter, a tapper left side of the infield. Charging it comes Naylor. Throw on the run low. But somehow it's picked. Sousa gets it done. A 6-3 ground out. Outlaws leave 2 more on the base pass, but they do get a run on a pair of hits. We will go to top 6 here at Historic Domaski Field. 8-2 Blue Sox is your score.
Let's see, second time the charm. Oh, just kidding. Woohoo! Catch that! Go get him! Coella.
Back to the Stuart Tomasky Field here, top of the sixth. Matt Coella going to lead things off, and he takes first pitch strike, kind of pitch that drifted a bit up and in. Coella reaching on the E5 in the first inning and scored. Forced out L3 in the second, also struck out looking in the fourth. And he puts that one on a one-hop past Conorth in the left, charging at Kohler. Damage is done. Coella's on. And the Blue Sox, a leadoff base runner for the sixth time tonight. Every half inning, Utica's leadoff hitter has reached in some fashion. And so it'll be Duncan Cullinane now to swing the bat. Won't be long before these two squads see each other again. Doubleheader on tap Sunday up at Murnane Field in Utica starting at 5:15. Outlaws Wednesday going to be the only off day here for a little bit. And they get no stretch of playing 9 consecutive days and the Utica doubleheader right in the midst of it. Goebel tries to throw to first. Sure, we'll probably get a rain out or two in there, and you never hope for that, but 9 straight days certainly looks intimidating on the schedule. And in the month of July at this point, only 3 off days left on the schedule for the Outlaws, so things are going to get really busy really fast. Conorth to one bounce, looking to turn to second. They get the out there, but won't get the turn off. As Connolly just unable to whip that throw too quick, as the throw kind of hung coming from Conorth, but at least you get the lead runner. So it's a 5-3, forcing out Coella at second. Cullinane will be on courtesy of the fielder's choice, and it'll be Xavier Smith, as now Goebel will be looking for a ground ball. Get out of this half inning, as you know this infield can turn them. Xavier Smith on twice tonight. E5 in the first, and a dropped strikeout. It's this one, miscommunication left side, past Carrera and Conorth, and nobody called the other off. That'll be an error. And the 5th one of the game for the Outlaws. So it will be E5 as Conorth taking another one here in this game. Conorth certainly looks like he had the heads up on that ball, never said anything, or at least it seemed like, to Carrera, who came over as well. So again, it's first and second. We'll go to Sousa. Sousa, E6, scored a run in the first, grounded out 3 unassisted, hit by pitch, scored a run as he blasts one into center, cruising around third, Duncan Cullinane. Smith got stopped at second. We won't get a throw to the plate. Cullinane has scored. That's an RBI, not Sousa. 9-2 Utica is your score.
Approaching the plate, number 8, Connor Jones.
So this Blue Sox team just continues to put the bats in play. 3 straight pitches they've been swinging. Out of the dugout goes Zach Porter running down to the bullpen. So got to think we might see another Outlaw arm coming up soon. Connor Jones on twice tonight, and now this one going to sail up and high, ball 1. Goebel taking a look, both base runners. Is this one a half jet swing? Conorth charging on the run, whips the throw off. Ball, it comes off the bag. And the bases will be juiced for Utica with just 1 out on the board. So Jones will get an infield single.
At the plate, number 15, Ryan Ulysses.
And bases will be loaded for Ryan Ulysses. So the defensive effort has been leaving a lot to be desired tonight. As Ulysses up the line and on a one-hop, it hit his guy, Xavier Smith. So it's 0-1. They are going to check on Smith, make sure he's all right. His jersey already covered a lot of dirt, a lot of mud from his sliding around the base paths tonight. Nothing in one. And this one, skyrocket 2. Hammered in the air, out to left center. Kohler, Uhara both over. Uhara leaps up in the gap, makes the snag. Bombs that one in quick. Skirts away from Wirtz on the miscommunication on the infield. Bounding in to score, Xavier Smith. Utica's leads 10-2. So that'll be another run that scores. Ryan Ulysse going to be on. That'll be the 6th error of the game on the Outlaws. And counted as an F8. So first and second, 2 outs. David Brakel as Goebel going to take one high. Looking at the other games in the league tonight, Finger Lakes Lakers beating the Newark Pilots in a non-league exhibition 5-4. Bottom of the 7th in Amsterdam, it's 5-4 Mohawks over the Stallions in a massive game. And then Boonville and Mohawk Valley only made it into the bottom of the 2nd up at Veterans Memorial Park in Little Falls before they were suspended due to rain delay. So that game will have to be finished later on. Boonville goes right back to Mohawk Valley. I think it's next Thursday, if I remember correctly. So that's probably when they'll finish that one. Play regular 9 and then have to play a 7-inning game after the fact to do the regular damage. But counts 1-2. Nice to see Boonville getting a lead on Mohawk Valley. Beat them once already. Boonville's also beaten Saugerties. And Stallions, as we said, in combat mode at Shuttleworth Park, down 5-4. Goebel checking both base runners, his 1-2. Fouled off. Looks like Braco caught his left leg with it. So we'll try it again. Blue Sox cooking numbers on the scoreboard in each of the last 3 half innings. 2 home in this half inning against Goebel. 3 in the last half inning. And 1 the inning before that, following their 4th spot. They put up in inning 1 on Martin Thorsland. Thorsland is solid 4 innings tonight as this one drifts high up and away from Goebel. Bases will be juiced with David Brakel getting on, courtesy of the hit by pitch. 5 runs charged to Thorsland's line tonight, just 1 an earned run. As again, the defensive effort has just been not quite there tonight for this Outlaw team. R.J. Tomey. RBI single in the 1st inning, reached on an E4 in the 4th, stole a bat, scored a run. Walked in the 5th, stole a bat, scored a run. As he's been all over the place and very much involved in this one. Quickly the count goes 1-0. Goebel drifts one up, clipped the left hand. It hit R.J. Tomey, and he will take the move down to first. And it looks like Jordan Goebel being told to get out of here after 2 straight hit by pitches. Keaton March going to be making another call to the bullpen. Outlaws trail by 9, and we will introduce you to the new arm when we come back. So Jordan Goebel's out of this game after recording 3 outs dating back into the bottom of the 5th. Next arm in for Keaton Mart tonight is going to be Kalen Dempsey, making his second appearance of the summer after throwing in game number 2 of the season down at Saugerties. Wasn't exactly his best outing against the Stallions, but it was also his first time on the mound in close to a year seeing live batters after recovering from arm surgery. Comes into a big situation with bases loaded, and his first pitch sailing down and away to Rodriguez. Final line in his appearance against the Stallions was 3 hits, 3 runs, all 3 earned, giving up 2 walks, and threw 46 pitches. So Seuss is at third, Jones is at second. And at first, R.J. Tomey. Rodriguez. 3 RBIs in the last, 3 RBIs in the last 2 at bats. As Dempsey somehow getting a strike call, looking low. But the count rolling to 1-1. And Rodriguez now trying to shake it off. So Dempsey. 1-1. Sails high. Count to 2-1. Blue side, 7 runs over the course of the last 3 innings. Dempsey now winds. Misses high again, ball 3. He walks in a run. That'll give the Blue Sox a 10-run lead. Three, 1. High ball 4, and that's a 10-run lead for the Blue Sox. So Connor Jones comes in to score. Brickle goes to third. R.J. Tomey's at second. Do have to play at least 7 innings as the mercy run rule, 10 runs after 7. Jager Naylor is now going to come to the plate. Jager Naylor rocking that yellow leg guard. It's like he changed it out from what he was wearing earlier on, was wearing a light color. Probably with some of the command issues that are going on, trying to keep himself safe. 1-0 from Dempsey. Gonna sail in high, ball 2. After Naylor would be top of the lineup. Naylor is the 10th Blue Sox to bat in the 6th inning. Two-0. Called strike. Outlaws do have another arm starting to get loose in the bullpen and left. 2-1. Again, going to be high. That's ball 3. Dempsey just trying to locate something and pump it back in the zone here. Three, 1. High ball 4. That's another run walked in. So Naylor gets on. Brakel scores. Vance Tomey to third. Rodriguez is at second. And now it'll be back to the top of the lineup for Utica. Matt Coella. Gonna take another one high, ball 1. Dempsey having a real hard time finding the strike zone. Is the 1-0. Drifts up high, ball 2. So since coming in, Dempsey has only gotten 2 called strikes to go his way. As the 2-0 gets one, and it counts 2-1.
Let's go, battle back now. Come on, kick, battle back now. Come on. Let's
Dempsey kicking first base side. Gets another called strike, and the Cubs to 2-2. And Cooperstown grad deals another one high, and the count goes full on Coella. So the count's full here as Dempsey winds, all the base runners going. There's another run walked in. He's walked in 3 straight runs. Keaton March coming out of the dugout, and it looks like we're going to get another call of the bullpen. 14-2, Blue Sox have the lead. We'll step aside and be right back. Colby Smith back here from historic Damascus Field, and I'm now joined by Outlaws intern of Hartwood College, Jadson Dorff. Jadson, how we doing?
Doing well, Colby. I was hoping for a better, score on the board here tonight, but we're just enjoying a great baseball game, and hoping that we can finish strong here. Outlaw faithful here.
Outlaws trailing 14-2 as Jacob Turner comes out of the bullpen. Turner, 4 appearances already this summer, 5 innings total. His longest outing at Mohawk Valley on the 5th. Other than that, it's been pretty short, and most recently at Amsterdam last Wednesday, only a third of an inning, 3 hits, 5 runs, all were charged as earned. As he left a couple of base runners on it, a couple of hard hit balls at Shuttleworth as well, as Cullinane now trailing in the count 0-2, and Jett said, who knows, this might be the pitch.
This might be the pitch we're looking for here to get out of a tough 6th inning here and come down to the home stretch and hit the ball.
Turner winds the 0-2, and this one poked over the head of a jumping Conhorst into third, tagging in Waldy Rodriguez. Just the 1-run scores as Kohler getting that one in quick, but it is 15-2 Blue Sox.
Walking to the plate, number 10, Xavier.
Yeah, great piece of hitting there by the hitter. He really just brought his hands to the ball, got it over the third baseman. They held the other runner at third. Still bases loaded here in the top of the 6th.
So Naylor's at third, Coelho's at second, Cullinane's at first, and here we go, Jackson. Your batter is Xavier Smith.
Xavier Smith here. little high, a little high, a little high. Just a bit outside. Just hoping that we could get some strikes called here, you know, get out of the top of the sixth here.
Smith's already scored a couple of runs tonight, reached on an error twice, has stolen a base.
Seems to be the trend here. A lot of errors here at Demarski Park here tonight. Not doing so well for our Outlaws, but hopefully these are mistakes that we can clean up, you know, going into the rest of the season.
Turner with the 1-1. And that one shot straight backwards. Counts 1-2. So got to try it again here, Jackson.
Yes, here we go. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Trying to get out of the sixth. Top of the sixth. Trying to get out of the top of the sixth. I'm with Bob Goble. Okay, great. Tell him I said hi. Strike 3. Got him in the dirt, swinging. Great pitch.
So Jacob Turner going to strand the bases loaded, but not before 7 Blue Sox runs score here in the top half of the inning. Bottom 6 coming up next. Outlaws trailing this thing, and a big score. Back to Oneonta, bottom of the 6th. Got a new pitcher on the bump for the Utica Blue Sox after their starter, Luke Baker, goes 5 innings. Jetson, it's going to be Austin Stocker from Whitesboro out of MVCC to take things over.
Strike 1, blew it past him.
Hugo Conor is down in the count here, 0-1. He's gone 0 for 2 to this point, struck out looking and flew to right.
Ball low. 1-1's the count here. Here's the pitch. Low, bouncing pitch in the dirt. 2-1 is your count.
On the Outlaws, desperately hoping to start stringing something together. They've already seen Austin Stocker once, and they greeted him with 3 runs the last time the Blue Sox were here in the 6th.
Pitch high, 3-1 is the count. Let's just see if the Outlaws can work a walk here. You know, get a few base runners on the, a few runners on the bases. There we go.
Certainly be nice to cause some havoc.
There's a swinging strike, full count here, as we lead off the bottom of the bottom of the 6th.
It is 5-6-7 for the Outlaws to bat here against Stocker as Conors.
Pitch is low. There we go. Works a walk. Good at bat right there.
Good clutch piece of, well, I don't even want to say clutch piece of hitting, but good eye work by Hugo Conors. He's been talking about and down in the clubhouse just how he's hoping to contribute to this team more and find ways to get on base, and, well, does just that.
Here's the pitch, low and outside, ball 1.
Jameson Bollock, fielder's choice in the first inning, got left on base and then flew out Ulysses in right field his last time up in the 4th.
Foul back, 1-1 is the count. Let's see if we can put the barrel of the ball here and move these runners up here.
Well, and I mean, what do you think's really got to turn around here for this Outlaw team to start doing that?
I think that the Outlaws really have to make some changes defensively, you know, kind of shorten up these errors. Wow, what a sliding grab by the outfielder there. He popped up into right field.
So Ulysses able to come down with a massive one in right. Just came charging in quite a ways. Didn't know if he corralled it, but I don't know.
Seems got under it. It's been the trend here tonight for the Outlaws. They haven't really got anything going their way here tonight, but we'll see.
Well, and Jetson, looking at the rest of the week, we got some great nights coming up here at Damaski Field. We got Family Fun Night tomorrow. We got Star Wars Night Friday, Hawaiian Night Saturday. What are you really looking forward to the rest of the week?
I think I said it in a different broadcast. I'm really looking forward to the Star Wars night, trying to see if there's some fans with some cool costumes coming around here. You know, the mini games in between innings should be pretty cool. I'm excited to see what we have going on here at Damaski Park.
Now it'll be Matt Carrera to bat.
Foul to the right.
Well, and for you personally, who's your favorite Star Wars character, and should we expect to see you in anything special on Friday?
I'm a Obi-Wan guy. I might wear a little robe, you know, put a little costume together, use the Force. We'll see.
Nothing in one, and that one low, 1-1. What's your favorite Star Wars movie?
Oh, Revenge of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith is my favorite.
It's an interesting choice.
Pitch outside there.
So the count 2-1 is Carrera holding up. I'm a big Empire Strikes Back guy myself.
Okay, that's a great movie right there. You know, can't miss with any of them, to be completely honest. There's the ball ground to the right to the first baseman for 1. He's just going to step on first, barely gets the out. Runner moves to second.
Sousa about collided with Carrera and coming back to the bag on that one, just ran right through it and kind of, instead of coming over, stepping his foot on the bag like you'd normally see, it was kind of a risky, dangerous play.
Yeah, the tensions have been kind of high here tonight at the Damaski Field. I mean, you can see the teams drawing at each other a little bit. The ump has had to step in the middle of the two of them, you know. So the intensity has been high here tonight, regardless of the score.
Stocker taking a look back behind him. This one on the ground, cleared off the glove. Braco lunges over high, throw to first. In time, gets the out. Blue Sox all going to come out of the dugout and celebrate that out. We do have to play one more inning. It's a 15-2 score, and we hit the 7th here on Outlaws YouTube. Back here to Stuart Tomaski Field, top 7. It's going to be 3-4-5 for the Blue Sox. Face Jacob Turner, who remains in the ball game. Sean Sousa will start things off.
Pitch is low, 1-0.
And Turner really trying to work on that off-speed stuff, trying to climb up his velo a little bit. That was one area where he struggled in redshirt in the spring.
Nice pitch there. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count.
Outlaws got Conors kind of pinched over off third. Got a weird middle shift going on. Carrera left side over towards second. Turner charged, field right over to Balick. In time, getting the out. So nice stretch play there, Jackson.
Great stretch play there. For a second there, I didn't think the Turner was going to get the throw off, but he did. Nice little spin play. First.
Well, it just seems like balls have kind of been dying a little bit in the grass on the infield when they're.
It was in the player's defense, it was a little wet out today. You know, the weather was not the kindest early on. So maybe the conditions are a little tough out there. Ball 1 outside.
Connor Jones, 2 for 3, couple of singles, also has a walk, has scored a run.
Great pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count. 1 down. The top of the 7th.
Well, and Jets, and nobody can go anywhere. The Outlaws do get another chance in the bottom of the 7th. 9, 10, and 1 will come to bat, so they do got a shot.
They do have a shot in the top of the order. Has a chance to come back up. Ground ball, grounded slowly to first. Scooped up, made the play. 2 down.
So Pollock taking it, keeping it in play. Luckily, that one just didn't roll too far when it hit the grass. So.
I think that's one of those the weather conditions there. You know, the ball just kind of touched the grass and started slowing down a little bit. Maybe that's a factor of it being wet. You know, some of these weather conditions that we're seeing out here.
So we'll go to Ryan Ulisse. RBI double, has scored a run, 1 for 4. And tried that one, falls, stays fair. Cruising to second. Ryan Ulisse takes the turn. He pumps the brakes there. That was smoked.
Walking up to the plate, number 60, David Burkell.
That was very much smoked.
I thought that ball was out of here for a second. Good play by the left fielder to cut it off and get it back in. Holding that 2.
David Brakel, 0 for 3, hit by pitch and a run scored. Jacob Turner just going to try to find one more out and go inning and a third.
Fouled back.
On David Brakel, an integral piece to this Utica Blue Sox team. He's continuing to do the job.
A little bit outside. 1-1 is the count.
There's only 6 teams in the division, so like we play Utica 9 times.
Here's Turner with the pitch.
Like 7 times. Actually. Yeah.
That ball is lifted into center field, makes the play. 3 down, and as we go to the bottom of the 7th, it's the last chance for the Outlaws to put some runs on the board.
Back here to Stuart Tomaski Field, bottom 7, and Jetson, Austin Soccer remaining on the hill for the Blue Sox was pretty dang good there in the 6th.
They did look pretty good here in the 6th. The Outlaws need 4 runs to keep this game going here in the bottom of the 7th. We'll see if they can make that happen. As I think the bullpen is now empty for the Utica White Sox. I don't know. Maybe it's a little early. I don't know. We'll see. I think they might be a little confident in winning the game. Let's see if the Outlaws can get something going here.
Ian Wirtz is in the box, and now it looks like we're ready to get back to it.
Matt's in there for a first pitch strike.
Ian Wirtz just 1 for 2 tonight, double in the 2nd, then a pop-up to Rodriguez at 2nd.
That ball is smoked. Deep out to center. Center fielder looks to be under it. He makes the grab, 1 down.
So Jones able to cover a lot of room out there in center. It is 400 to straight away, just over a little bit in the gap there, probably more like 385, 390, but still certainly making it look like a routine play.
Definitely got a good read on the ball there. As the Outlaws are down to their final 2 outs here, if they can't get 4 runs across the board. Let's see if anyone can get on base.
Just got to get excited about what's to come this week. Turn the corner and move on. Forget this night ever happened, even though we'll show in the record.
I agree, Colby. I agree. I mean, it's a long week. You still have plenty of more baseball games to play. You know, you got to see how you can get past this one and, you know, move on to the next. 1 ball, 1 strike is the count.
Kazuhara walk in the 2nd inning, single in the 5th, stole 2nd, scored 1 of the 2 outlaw runs.
That pitch is high. 2-1 is the count.
Brakel drifting in a little bit from 3rd. Rodriguez pinched more over.
A little bit out in front of it there with that swing. 2-2 is the count. Let's see if he can fight here at the plate, you know, stay alive.
Certainly needs some kind of fight.
Down low, did he keep his swing? Yes, he did. He swung. Here we go, 2 down. A little bit of confusion there. I guess the ump didn't necessarily make the call. He didn't make a sound to me. I couldn't tell if he was what the call was there. So a little bit of confusion there. 2 downs. The Outlaws are down to their last out here.
It is top of the lineup. Brendan Connolly, has he got some magic?
Do the Outlaws have a little magic here in the bottom of the 7th with 2 down?
That'd certainly be nice.
Ripped up the middle. It's going to squeak through. As Connolly is on board with a single.
Good clutch piece of hitting, just barreled that one up, finding a hole right between Rodriguez and Naylor. And that's one thing that Connolly's been doing really well here, just continuing slice and dice at the balls and putting them in play and always giving this team a chance.
Oh, and he didn't wait on it either. He took first pitch and he just put the bat on the ball and he just ran with it. Squeaked through the middle. Good piece of hitting there.
So now it'll be Jack Clark's turn.
That ball's grounded to first. Good diving play by the first baseman. He stands up, makes the play to first. And that'll do it here from Tomaski Field.
So Sousa scoops, takes to the bag unassisted, and we will flash that up for you. Your final tonight's going to be 15-2 in 7 innings. Another mercy run loss for the Outlaws. Utica, final lines, 15 runs, 12 hits, 1 error. Outlaws, it's 2 runs, 4 hits, and 6 errors. Jadson, what do you got for me for big takeaways from this one?
Big takeaway from this one is the errors need to come to a stop. The Outlaws need to keep the ball in front of them and, you know, make routine plays that they're capable of making. That being said, there is tons of games left in the season to keep, you know, build back and bounce back from. So they'll get another opportunity to play again, and we'll see what they can do from there.
Outlaws go to 1-7. Utica goes to 4-5. Utica's back in action tomorrow on the road at Amsterdam, 6:45 start. Outlaws host Glens Falls tomorrow at 7. Once again, your finals 15-2 Blue Sox. And have a great rest of your Monday night. And as always, roll Outlaws.